We often come across abandoned buildings and other projects. What many don't know is why such ambitious projects don't get completed. Welcome to RichAddict. In today's video, we will look at some of the biggest mega projects that were never completed. London Garden Bridge. London is one of the most popular places in Europe, and the River Thames is one of its biggest attractions. The London Garden Bridge was a mega project that, if completed, would have been located at the River Thames. The bridge would have served as a floating garden of some sort. The 366-meter bridge would have been home to numerous plants, flowers, and trees. The project would have cost $85 million to complete, and upon completion, would have connected the Temple area to the South Bank and would be open 24/7 to members of the public. Unfortunately, due to circumstances we are not too sure of, the cost for the sunken project suddenly went up from $85 million to approximately $260 million, more than 3 times the original cost. Upon hearing this, members of the public and the media began to criticize the project for being too costly and ostentatious when there were much more pressing issues that needed funding. They also pointed out that the bridge served no immediate purpose and was too large an investment for a place that already had multiple bridges, which were built for much less. Although for a while it seemed as though Apple would be funding the project in return for it being called the Apple Bridge, but this arrangement ultimately fell through. Apple wanted to open a store on the bridge, but this would have contradicted the vision for the project, and eventually the project was scrapped, despite $60 million already being invested in it. Doha Shark Crossing. This abandoned mega project was conceived as a response to Qatar being chosen as the host of the 2022 FIFA World Cup. Despite the heavy controversy surrounding this choice, Qatar moved forward with their plans to prepare for the World Cup. This manifested in the form of numerous infrastructure projects, which had to be completed before the World Cup. One such project was the Doha Shark Crossing, which was intended to be a 12-kilometer crossing with 3 bridges that were interconnected by underwater tunnels. This project would have looked just as good as it sounds. The crossing was projected to have 6,000 vehicles moving through it per hour, which would make it easy for the swift movement of heavy traffic from the West Bay area to the Hamad International Airport. This project would have cost an estimated $12 billion. Unfortunately, this project was called off just 2 years after it was announced. Its cancellation was due to various factors, the most important of which was the sudden dip in oil prices, as well as a struggling construction sector. Qatar's population at the time was increasing at an unprecedented pace. This meant that there was a constantly increasing demand for the construction of residential buildings and other facilities. Eventually, this led to a shortage of skilled labor. Eventually, the government was forced to cancel several mega projects that were seen as not having immediate value. However, the government has resumed planning for the project, and from the look of things, it will likely be restarted soon. The Rueyong Hotel. This North Korean mega project was meant to be sort of a haven for tourists and other foreign visitors. The pyramid-shaped hotel would have had 105 stories and would have been the tallest hotel of its time. This project might come as a surprise to many, especially those who are familiar with North Korea's unwelcoming nature towards foreigners. Till date, only specially invited visitors are allowed to set foot in North Korea, and journalists just can't seem to find a way in. Although there are exceptions to these rules, these exceptions are incredibly rare. So the idea that North Korea would build a hotel for visitors might seem a little ridiculous. The reason for the conception of this project was the rivalry between North and South Korea. At the time, South Korea had just built what was the tallest hotel in the world, and North Korea wasn't about to just let them get away with such an achievement. A bit petty, but this is the nature of international rivalries that haven't resulted in war. In 1987, North Korea began working on the project with some much-needed financial assistance from Russia. However, the Soviet Union ended in 1992, and the project was ended since the money pot had dried up. Though the project has been restarted and halted on several occasions, the overall cost will enter into several billion dollars, and it is unlikely that it will be completed in the near future. Shanghai International. China has been growing rapidly and has gone from a dismissible third world country to one of the most powerful nations on earth. Commonly referred to as the manufacturers of the world, China has undertaken and completed numerous megaprojects that have received global acclaim. Their ability to successfully carry out groundbreaking infrastructure projects is unmatched, but occasionally their enthusiasm leads them to bite off more than they can chew. This has led them to construct city-sized projects with the hope that they will attract occupants. This doesn't always work out though, since there is no way to guarantee that people, especially thousands of people, will buy into the metropolitan ideal, especially if the project has little or no perceived value. As a result, several ghost towns have appeared all over China. One such ghost town is the Shanghai International Project, which is located in the Hubei province of China. This ambitious project was structured carefully. The city was divided into two districts, a residential district and an entertainment district. The city design was planned to suit the needs of Chinese locals while providing the familiar European-style buildings that usually indicates that a place is an urban setting. The project featured bridges, shopping malls, skyscrapers, and complex road systems. However, this project was not able to be completed due to an unexpected investigation based on the suspicion that the company behind the project had indulged in various forms of corruption. This caused the prices of the properties in the city to fall rapidly, basically spelling the end of the project. The company, which had intended to invest a total of $17 billion into the project, was forced to declare bankruptcy, and the project came to a halt despite already selling almost 700 residential complexes. Today, the project is a perfect example of a ghost town, and its roads and buildings are occupied by stray animals. The buildings continue to deteriorate as there are no humans present to maintain them. However, things have been looking up since explorers have made the place a tourist attraction. People can be found going through the roads, various facilities, and buildings to take pictures or simply spend time alone or with friends. Perhaps this project will be revisited and completed in the near future, but for now, it is uncompleted and basically abandoned. That brings us to the end of today's video. If you enjoyed this video, you can let us know by hitting the like button. To be among the first to know when we drop a new video, subscribe and hit the bell button for regular notifications. Until next time, have a great day.